If y'all got something, if not, it's all good. But at the end of every show,
Malik's got enough for all of us.
Just
Well,
like
I could just zone in on one.
Yeah.
As far as the craft, my whole motivation is game elevation for the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
And one would say, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is we're in a time where instant gratification is at an all-time high, right? And that's in sports, that's in everything. But we'll zone in on boxing. Instant gratification is something that you do real fast, and people that don't know what they're looking at, they think it's a cool thing because they just don't know. I want to change that and show people that drill and boring, showing fighters that drill and boring, being able to fight every direction, being able to have an intellect after boxing and things of that nature. I want to come from a standpoint of being a great teacher, but also raising a bunch of great teachers as well. And for the last, you could say 2 years, that's been the ultimate motivation to me besides just the actual living of my kids.
Love it. Love it. Okay.
I got to follow
Abdo.
Malik. Come on, it's.
What?
I mean, I guess what you said to me.
Like I put everybody on the spot, and I'm like, if you ain't got it, it's all good. That make you look like an animal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
What you said was interesting to me. Like, I don't do it for the fame, right? I'm here for, like, I want the craft to shine. And I think that's something I really respect and something that applies to every genre, right? For TV, it's the same thing, right? Like, we're blessed to be in a format where you're visible to people. And you can meet so many people who want to do what you do. But to me, it's all about why do you want to do that, right? And what's the enjoyment that you get from it? So for me, it's the same thing. I really want to be there because, especially as a woman in a male-dominated arena, I want to be there because I deserve to be there. I don't want to check a box. I want to be respected for what I bring to the table personally. And so for me, it's all about that. Like, what can you invest in your craft so that people can't look past you?
Yeah, I love that. I was at a party with Russell Peters 2 days ago. Dana Pump's party. The Pump brothers are great. They're amazing. And you know, a military officer came up to me and was like, "Yo, we love your films." I was like, "Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best." And then for me, the glass ceiling for how much you're depositing into what you're doing is the breakthrough when you go from blue to black. And I think that what we saw really heavily in the, you know, Muhammad Ali, obviously, you know, the footwork, but even like, you know, whether it be any athlete, Bruce Lee, whatever, where you start seeing, oh, that's their style, right? And that's when you really are putting in everything that you have. You start really developing your style. You know, what we see what Roy Jones did when he was in the ring, it was like, oh, we haven't really seen that like that before, you know? So, but then I think it's all for the fans though. Yeah. I love people.
Yeah. And I love your story. I know you don't even come from TV. And so you are definitely, I think, an example of just extra motivation here. Someone who believes in themselves and people give direction and you can intake information. You end up on CBS exclusively. Some of the and didn't even want to be on TV.
Oh, that's so good though.
But somebody saw something in you and
Authentic.
said, just for shits and giggles, give it a shot.
Yeah.
And you put it, you're all into it, and then you learn what it took to continue to compound and make it more and bigger than what it was. And essentially, that's why I love you, because you
Appreciate
you when we started to work together, I was always looking at you like, okay, I'm gonna need to do her job one day if she doesn't show up. I'm gonna need to do her job one day.
You were ready to do my job when I did show up.
Oh my
goodness.
You were ready for that scene.
Oh boy, I'm really ready now, which is scary for you. I'm really ready now, but you have always been the bar for me, right? And then again, when I found out that you didn't even come from TV, this isn't what you wanted to do, there's no excuse for me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you being on
Thank you.
the PorterWay Podcast today.
Yes.
Malik, my guy.
Thanks for having me, bro.
More offline conversations is what we need to have. I'll see you in just a second, big dog.
Absolutely.
Motivation for me real quick, and then we're going to get up out of here. I used an analogy just a couple of days ago. A glass, a glass cup and burnt toast. You throw the glass cup in the air, it busts, it shatters. When you have issues and you think that issue is gone, just like you think you done swept up all of that glass and you didn't realize it's still some glass on the floor. It's still a chance that you could walk. When you are dealing with something, you got to make sure you take care of it all. You got to make sure that glass it has something big. It's some small things that come from that big situation. And you got to pick up those small pieces before you even pick up that big piece. If you're not picking up the small pieces, that big piece is never going to get dealt with. So whatever you're dealing with at home, start trying to find those small issues, the small things, because the small things lead to the big things. Pick up that glass, put it back together, and make sure it doesn't burst again. And then the other thing I got for you guys, burnt toast. It ain't that hard. You dealing with issue, don't make it any bigger than it already is. Just scrape off that burnt piece, and it's like new. It ain't nothing wrong with that piece of bread, that toast. Nothing's wrong with your life, okay? So when you're dealing with something that's hard, just start figuring out how to scrape it off. That's all you got to do. Life ain't going to end because it's a little burnt right now. Just scrape it off.
I love it.
This is the PorterWay.
I love it.